So in today's workshop we are going to look at the animations. Animations means the movement of the contents that you have within your slide. So this movement tends to help you draw the attention of your audience to what you're trying to present to them. In other words, it keeps the audience alert and they keep on following your presentation. So to apply the animation to the content, for instance, this heading here, what we can do is to select the heading. I like using this placeholder. So when I click on the placeholder and I see this line drawn like this, it means that every content within the placeholder is now selected. So since you already have the contents selected, we are now going to work with this animations tab. Now from the animations tab, we shall work with this animations group. Right now, as we can see from the animations group, we see that there is no animation that is to the selected content that we have in our slide. And our intention is to apply a given animation effect to this content. So to do that, we are going to click on this arrow besides no animation field. So when we click there, we can see that there are some options like no animation, that is if you don't want the animation. Then we are seeing fade effect. So when I point at it, you can as well look at the selected content in our slide. Then we also have wipe, then we have fly in. So these are the different default animation effects that you can decide to apply to the content. So for instance, let me work with fly in. So I just click on fly in. When I click on fly in, you have seen what has happened. But to view or to have a preview of the effect that we have applied to this heading or to this title, we shall still work with this animations tab. From the animations tab, we shall move our pointer to this preview group. So when we click on this button, we shall be in a position to see that effect we have applied to this very selected text. So I'll click. So when you click, you can see that there is a preview of the effect of an animation that is applied to this very text. Then another way is that if you want to have to know that whether there is some effect or animation effect applied to a given text, select the text. After selecting the text, move to the animations tab. From the animations tab, you will see where there is this option for animate, and you will see the type of animation that is applied to the selected text. So right now we can see that the animation effect is fly in. So that is with the text we have here. Then we also have this area. So even here, when we click, you can see that there is no animation. So if we want to apply the animation, we can decide to select only the text or to just select the entire placeholder. So when we select the entire placeholder, we shall go to Animations tab. From this animations tab, you're going to work with this animate, where we see no animation. In this field, there is this arrow besides it. So we click to display the effects. This time around, we can see that there are a number of other options which have come up, unlike when we had selected the title. So the reason is we have a number of bullets in this place folder. So what shall we do? We want now to apply a given animation effect to the contents in this place folder. Here we can see that under fade effect, we can fade all at once. This all at once option means that all the selected text will appear in your slide at once. That is when you are on the slide show view. All at once. So when I point, you can even see the text. They all will come at once, or they will all be displayed at once during your presentation. So this sometimes makes it hard for your audience to follow what you're trying to tell them. Now, your verbal explanation may be left out during the presentation if you make the contents to all appear on the slide at once. Why? They will focus on writing down the points that you have displayed on the screen. So to ensure that you capture the attention of the audience and they follow whatever you're saying point by point, you can say, I want the selected text to be displayed by first level paragraph. First level paragraphs implies that your text will appear bullet by bullet or paragraph by paragraph. So when I point there, and you will see that the first point is resource sharing. Second one is, you can see what is taking place. So when you do this, it will help you to capture the attention of your audience on what you're presenting to them. Then we also have the wipe effect. Wipe effect also, you can wipe the text or the content you have all at once if you want. You can also use this first level paragraph option. Likewise, to fly in, you can see they are the same things that are happening. So let's continue and work with fly in. I'm not restricting ourselves to fly in, but you can even get other options like wipe. So let me click on it. So you can see what is taking place there. Now this time around, when you go to view, because when you are in this normal view, you are unable now to have a view of the animation effect unless you work with the preview, which will just give you a short overview of what is in your slide. So to have this view, we shall work with this slide show button, or else on your keyboard you can press on F5 to play. So this time you can see that our screen is blank, but again we see the picture already displayed, yet this picture was on the very placeholder. This picture is treated as a different object, but also the picture can be animated, as we shall see. So now to display our content on the screen, now that we have this blank screen is as a result of the effect that we have selected. To display our text, we click. So when we click, we shall see that our heading has now come. It has appeared. Fly in effect. Then we click. Now you're explaining to the audience advantages of a network. 1. We have resource sharing. You explain to the audience resource sharing. You explain and complete, then again you will click and you will have better communication. So once you do this, this audience to whom you are presenting will be in a position to follow your presentation step by step, point by point. You complete that, you click as you're explaining. So when you're done, you can now press on the escape key and you will be taken back. Then that is with the advantages of a network. So to prove that there is an animation effect, click C on the animations group. Check by clicking on the text, go to the animations group. See there, you will see the effect. Now we have this picture which was not animated. So you can also select the picture. After selecting the picture, just go to Animations tab. And from this Animations tab, you will select the animation effect you want for that very picture. So if it is wipe, you can see what has happened. So let's give it a fade effect. So I will click on it. So let's have a look at what is happening, and also you see the picture fading as we have said. Now to have the preview, you just go and click on this, but this time round let's try to go to the slideshow once again to prove whether our settings will happen. So, okay, so I'm clicking so that even before I can proceed with the clicking, this time round we are not seeing the picture displayed there. So this picture will only be displayed after we are done with all the explanation of our points. So when I click the last time, then we can see that our picture is now displayed on our slide. So once you don't give this picture an effect, the picture will always be the first to get displayed on your slide while you're on the slide show. So you can always give this picture an effect as well. So that is with the default animations that you can apply to the text or to the object, like a picture that you have within your slide. In our next example, we are going to work with this slide 4. And from this slide 4, this time around, we would like to see how we can apply a custom animation effect to the text that we have in our slide. So to apply a custom animation effect, first of all, we select that content or that text. So I'm selecting. So after selecting, still we shall work with this animations tab. From the animations tab, we are going to go to this animations group, and this time round our target is this option for custom animation. So we click. Now when you click on the custom animation, on our right part of the screen we can see this custom animation task pane. So it is this task pane that will help us to go ahead and customize the animation effect we would like to apply to this heading. So to do that, first of all, before even we can do that, I'm going to click outside our placeholders. So when you just go to the custom animation button and you click on it, and on your right part of the screen you will see this task pane for custom animation, but you will not be in a position to add any effect. Reason: we can see that all options here are inactive. What you will be in a position to do with this pen is to only have a slide show. But our task is not to have a slideshow, but to add an effect. And yet we see that the add effect button is inactive. The reason as to why it is inactive is because we don't have any selection. But when you have a selection, then this very add effect button will now be activated. So once it is activated, now you go ahead and add that effect by clicking on the arrow besides that button. So when you click on that arrow besides the add effect button, we can see these options here. Now these options, before we can work with them, let us have a look at them one by one. The first one is saying entrance. So while working with this entrance effect, it means that you will be in a position to go ahead and change how the selected text will appear on your slide. How it will appear. You will be in a position to change how this text will be displayed on the slide. That is with the entrance effect. Then we have the emphasis effect. So with this emphasis effect, it will help you to draw the attention of your audience to the selected items or this text while you are on your slide show view. So you can use it to make some emphasis. So once the emphasis is made, you will be in a position to draw the attention of your audience to the presentation. That's why you can see here it is having options such as change font, change font size, change font style, grow or shrink, spin. So these are some of the effects under this emphasis that can help you to capture the attention of your audience to your presentation. So if you would like to capture their attention all the time, then you can decide to work with the emphasis effect. We have the exit. So while working with this exit effect, you will be in a position to change how this selected text will disappear from your slide while you are on the slide show view. That is with the exit effect. How the text will be disappearing from your slide while you're presenting from the slide show view. And lastly, you can as well work with the motion path, which helps you to animate the selected text so that it moves to specific points on your screen. So sometimes you find text moving from this corner to the other one. It means that person has worked with this motion path. I will encourage you to work with all these different effects while you're trying to practice how to customize the animations. Now let's work with this entrance option, but I would like to start with the title. So I will select my title, then we go to add effect button, then we say entrance. So entrance has blinds, has box, has checkboard, diamond, fly in, random effect. These are not the only effects under entrance, but there are others if you click on this more effect, and I will do so. So when you click, you can see that there are a number of them, as we can see from our screen here. So I don't know how most of them work, but I know how this diamond works. So when I click on it, I'm going to move this dialog box aside. So when you click on this flash once, you see what happens on the screen. If you say dissolve in, you see what happens. If it is random effect, you can see what happens. So after you've selected what you want, then go and click on OK. So when you click on OK, there is one thing I would like us to take note of. That is this option where we see 1. This one is known as a number label. So this number label informs us that there is a custom animation effect that is applied to this text. So that is why it appears just besides this very placeholder. So it is telling you that there is a custom effect that is applied to this text. Besides this number label on your very slide, there is also on this very custom animation effect, but in this very area. So in this very area, we can see that we have also a 1 just above there, and when I point there, there is some kind of preview below, which is saying on click. Now on click means that this custom animation effect that we have applied to this text only works when you click the mouse. That is when you're on the slideshow. So it will work when you click the mouse piece. And it is saying that random effect, that when you click on your mouse piece, you have an animation effect known as the random effects, which is applied to title 1, and in that title 1 there is a text disadvantages of a network. So that is the meaning of that preview we see there. So now we can have a view of how this will happen. We can do that using the slideshow. So I will click. You can see now it comes on your screen. These ones came first because there is no effect. Let's go back. Now before we go to this, when you apply an effect to this very text, you have this area where you can go ahead and modify. So you modify, and here they give you the name of the effect that you are working with, that is on the selection. But you can also go ahead and remove the effect if you don't want by working with this remove button. So when you click, you can see that the number label which was here is off, and also from the animation we see no animation. So if we want, we can just select, then we go to add effect, entrance, and we say diamond. We click on diamond. You see what will happen. Now after, we see modify diamond, because the effect or the custom effect applied is for diamond. So you can modify it. If you don't want it to start on click, you can check start with previous or after, depending on your choice. Then direction, you can also decide to change the direction from in to out. You can see what happens to the text. If it is in, you see what happens there. As well, still, if you feel the speed is too slow for you, you see where there is speed, medium, you can say no, me I want very fast. You select and see what happens. Then you can say no, it is very fast, I want slow. You click, you see what will happen. So that means we can also go ahead and modify the effect that we have applied to our text. Let's go ahead to this other placeholder. I'll just click inside. After, we go to add effect. We shall work with entrance. I just encourage you to try those other options. This time round, I want to work with fly in. So I will say fly in. So you can see the fly in, what happens. Now, once you add this fly in effect, and we go to our placeholder, we can now see we have number label 2, number label 3 up to 6. This means that on the first click, while we are on our slideshow, what will be displayed first is the disadvantages of a network. When we click again, we shall have a view of the first point, prone to virus. After explanation, when you click again, you will see the third point, which is high initial cost, like that. So these number labels are showing that you have got some custom animations. As well, we can also modify. You can say, if they are to fly in my slide, what I want is to change the direction. Instead of coming from bottom part of the slide, I want to come from left. So you say left. So you can see where they are coming from. If left is not okay for you, you can still decide to work with these other options, as we can see from the screen. It depends on you. You can also do some modification. If they are very fast, you can say I want it to be in a medium speed. So that's how we can have a display of our text using the custom animation. But we can also have a view of all these other effects we have applied by just clicking on that arrow, and you will have everything displayed, as we can see. Let's have a slideshow this time around. So now we can see our screen is totally blank because of our custom animation we have applied. So I will click, you see we have the heading, then I click, we have prone to viruses, you explain, you click to bring another point, Now they are coming from left because of our settings. So you keep on clicking as they come in. If they are done, if you're done, I'm just going to press on the escape key and we are taken back. So that is custom animation effect. We have some other options that we can still talk about. So I'll work with this first point under the disadvantages. So I can just click on that arrow. Then we want to access some other effects. We have this effect option. I click. Now from the effect option, you can try to work with the effect tab, whereby you will change the direction of the text in your presentation from left, and say maybe I want them to come from right. So when you say from right, you can click OK. So you see what is happening. So those are some of the more other effects that you can still access. You can still minimize this if you feel there is confusion. You click, then you're taken back and you access your effect option. Set the direction. You can enhance, you can apply sound if you want to apply sound as your text or objects are getting animated by working with this button. Then you say applause. Then we can also go ahead and try to work with this timing. You can as well put some timings to the contents within your slide. You can as well work with this text animation. Right now you see it is by first level paragraph. So you can decide also to say no, I want all these points to be displayed at once. Instead of coming one by one, I want them to come as one object. So when you say one object, click and then come and click on. So I think you can hear what has happened. We set some sound and we said instead of having these points coming as individual points, let them come at once. And also from our screen we see that we only have label 1 and also number label 2, because all these are now treated as a single object. From your slide show view, that is what will happen. We have the title displayed, and when you click, we can see that they come as one object. But if you want them not to be treated as one object, select, then you just go to the more options and access this effect, then say no. Instead of having text animation treated as one object, I want it to be maybe by first, by second. You select and then you say okay. Now you see they are coming one by one, and also with the sound that you have applied. But you can remove the sound by just following the same procedures. You go there and you remove that sound if you don't want. To remove these effects from your contents, what you do is select. After selecting, go and work with this option for remove. Click on it, it will be removed, and even from down here it is not there. When you look at the animations group, there is nothing. Do the same there. go and say remove. So we have our contents on the slide but without any animation. There is one last thing I would like us to look at. So I will apply one more, our effect. I will give entrance. Let me check to box. Then I select here. Then I say fly in. Now we have those two different effects. We can also decide to reorder our contents or our custom animation effect. So right now, if you look at these numbers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But when we say reorder, you can just click on this reorder arrow. So this time around, instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 6, we have the first one. You will have the points explained. So when the points are explained, then you have the title coming last because you have used the reorder option. But you can also decide to do it in another way. But let's first see how this one will be displayed on our screen. On our screen, we don't expect that when we click first, the title should appear. We expect the title to come last because of the number labels after doing the reordering. So let's see. So I will click. You can see the first point. Then, so when I click again, that is when we have access to the title. So that is the reorder option. But you can decide to say no, I want only to reorder a few things. So you just display all. Then I can say I want to change this. I move it up. Security. So security has gone to the third position. Even from your slide, if you look there, there is a change that you have 1, 2, then 3 will be security. We can even say instead of this high initial cost coming as number 4, you can also go ahead and say no, let it come down. So you just use this option for reorder, click, it will be pushed down. You can even push it completely as your last point. So when you go to the slide show view, we expect high cost to be the last down. Oh, sorry, not the last, but the last to be displayed on your screen. So I'll repeat. So you can see we have prone to virus, then we have security concerns, then we have lack of robustness, we have needs efficient handler, but still this space for high cost is left. So it will be displayed last because of the reordering that you have made from your slide. So that is what we had prepared for you today. You can unmute your microphones and we have your feedbacks and inputs as well. Thank you for listening.